I want to start this video with a story. I have a friend named Amit and we are part of a WhatsApp group. One day, he asked a very important question on the group. He told us he wants to shift cities and wanted to know where should he move. He wanted us to tell him which city is the best for him. Now, Amit has an online business, so he can work from anywhere. After he asked the question, everyone started giving him suggestions. Someone said Bengaluru, another one said Chandigarh. One friend asked him to consider Goa. There were plenty of recommendations. While planning this video, we came up with similar challenge. We wanted to share a list of the best and consistently performing mutual funds. And we have the list. But we have used the criteria we think is the best. You can refer to this data, but you must determine what's best for you. Hi everyone, I'm Rajat Monga. Today, we will discuss the best performing mutual funds of the past decade, and in the true ET Money style, I'll present the results with a lot of data and insights. Let's begin. Let's start with the identification. Let's first determine which mutual fund schemes should be a part of the study. To keep the list relevant, we decided to set some boundaries. First, we kept our study limited to 5 categories. These include large cap funds, large and mid cap funds, multicaps, flexicaps, and ELSS fund. We chose these 5 as they include a sufficiently large number of schemes. Then we applied the second criteria. We only chose funds that were in existence for more than 10 years, and we only considered direct plans for the study. This way, a more meaningful conclusion could be made about the performance and consistency of the funds. So what originally started as a wide universe of 362 funds now became a more manageable but sizable universe of 92 schemes. The next step was to evaluate the funds. Our researchers decided to use the quartile system to evaluate performance and consistency. They did not use the ranking system as it was too volatile. The quartile system, on the other hand, gave us more workable results. The quartile system works exactly the way it was taught in school. The top 25% of performers are Q1 or quartile 1. The second 25% are labeled as Q2. Then comes Q3, and least performing 25% of funds are Q4. And with this, we have the building blocks of our study. A list of 92 mutual fund schemes and the quartile ranking of each scheme over 10 years. Let's move to the next part of the study. As we discussed earlier, the word best can mean different things to different people. For you, it might mean the top performer. But for someone else, it might be a fund with the least volatility. Someone may prefer consistency over returns. For this reason, our team decided to examine the data more in form of questions that a regular investor might pose. In fact, let's start with a question that I posed to them. Are there any funds that have been in Q1 for all 10 years? The question was an interesting one. I was keen to know if any fund has consistently managed to be within the top 25% over the years. Unfortunately, there has been no such fund. Not even a single fund was in the top quartile all 10 years. However, this question was a good starting point. The next question I asked was, are there any funds that have been in Q1 for at least 7 years? And the answer to this question was positive. But surprisingly, there is only one scheme that qualifies this filter. Only Mirae Asset Emerging Blue Chip has managed to be in the top quartile in 8 of the last 10 years. Now let's relax the filter to see if we can get more funds that qualify the criteria. So how many funds have spent 6 or more years in Q1? The answer to this is 6 funds. But before you start investing in these 6 schemes, it's always a good practice to go deeper into the information. We can observe that there have been multiple quarters when these funds were in quartile 4. To be more specific, check Invesco India Multicap Fund. The fund is either in the top quartile or the bottom quartile. The fund has given extreme returns. This can be an important factor to consider. Let's not stop here. Let's try a few more scenarios. So, Are there any schemes which have never spent a single year in Q4? Yes, there are not one but 8 such schemes. These schemes were never in the bottom quartile in the past 10 years. Having said this, let's look at the reverse as well. Are there any schemes that have never spent even a year in Q1? And the answer to that is yes. There are, in fact, 6 schemes that have never been in the top 25% performers list in any of the last 10 years. Now, this is some good information. Investors can probably avoid these funds. By now, you must be getting an idea behind the efficacy of this study. We wanted to give you a framework to evaluate mutual funds that you think are the best for you. And the best part is that you can shape it in any way you like. Here's one example. You may prefer a list of schemes that have spent at least 80% of the time in Q1 or Q2. If you like this criteria, then there are 4 such funds. You can see the names on the screen. What if your criteria is a bit more relaxed? Maybe you want schemes that have spent at least 70% of the time in Q1 or Q2? In that case, there are 14 funds. Investors can try a combination of criteria. Let's try one here. First, we want schemes that have spent at least 70% of the time in Q1 or Q2. Second, such schemes never gave negative returns in the last 5 years. It's a pretty strict criteria, but there have been 2 such funds from a universe of 92 funds. They are ICICI Prudential Long-Term Equity Fund and Mirae Asset Large Cap Fund. On similar lines, one can look at many criteria in combination and then select scheme that suits one's needs. We will post the table with the list of schemes and annual returns on the ET Money blog. You can find the link in the description below. I didn't complete my friend's story. I asked him the reason for shifting. He wanted to shift as the pollution in the city affected his son's health. I followed up with one more question. What does he expect from the new city? He wanted to move to a city with lower pollution and decent schools. As soon as he laid down this criteria, the recommendations from the friends changed. He is still evaluating. Maybe you can suggest a nice city for him in the comment section. But the same is true in the case of mutual funds. There are no best mutual fund. It depends on your requirement. Very early in the process, we realized that people look at best differently. So we worked on giving investors a framework and necessary tools to select the mutual fund that they think is the best for them. Do give this a shot. Let us know if this approach worked for you. I hope you liked this video and will draw many learnings from the data and insights. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share this video with your friends and colleagues. Thank you for watching and I look forward to catching up with you soon with another insightful video. Until then, take care.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.